Right, got the camera back out. Exciting day today. I went and picked up them, exciting day because I've shaved my beard, that's spring Ben. If you don't know what seasons it is, if you're watching these a year later on, it's spring at the moment, because winter Ben has a big beard down here. Summer Ben, no beard. Spring Ben, midway between the two. So yeah, exciting day because I've had the collars back. So I did a little job for engineering company down the road, bending just some tiny bits of tube. I think they were going to make a pedal box for a kit car. God knows, but he's going to do the rest of it, so I just bent him some tube up. And it was one of them, he just dumped it on me, said, can you do that in a week? And I'm all like, right, yeah, I'll find some tube, bend it up. Let me get rid of that window because I'll look at it. And in return, I dropped them off, and I dropped off the Vincent nuts with it because they were sticking out a bit too much. They were about 7mm too long. This morning, he rang me up and said, Ben, what do you want me to do with these? I said, just chop 7mm off the ends of them and then put a little bit of a relief on the end, just cut the thread off it. He's not even took a thread off, he's just literally nicked it on the end. He's a shit hot turner, they are. And then he's just skimmed it out a little tiny bit on the inside to put a bit of relief on so the collar will fit. So they look shallow, but they screw, because the thread's only dead fine on it, they screw in about 8 times then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times maybe. Yeah, and he's got some big crush rings in there. They fit perfect. When I screwed them in, they fit absolutely perfect. So, clean my throat. Next problem was, that's bit sorted. Some of these collars, I made these collars, they're exactly the same as a Norton collar on the end there. That flange is exactly the same as a Norton collar. Normally, that's like a commando length, as it is, and then like if you were going to do them on an Atlas, they're about that long where my finger is. So I started off with, I've got a little tool to make the Atlas ones, and then I've just cut them down with my grinder because they stick out a little bit too far. Customers asked me, he said, what we're going to do about getting them chromed? And the big problem with them chromed is that these are brass, aren't they? And if you put that in chrome tank, it'll chrome that as well. So we were like, how do we keep them brass but chrome the pipes? So one option, arm's aching, one option is to get them ceramic coated in chrome, which it looks very similar. If my camera's still open, I've got a sample in here. I literally don't know if that were focusing or not. Have I got some samples in here? Got some. Oh, here we are. So I asked one at local places. It's about an hour away in Warrington to do me some ceramic coating, just to do me these samples. So that, it's hard to show you on camera because the light's a bit weird, isn't it? That's matte black. Just looks a bit like exhaust paint, doesn't it? So I said just do them because that's what one set of my customers will want. They just want race pipes and want them in matte black. And then that is ceramic chrome. It's not brilliant chrome, so I said to the guy, I said that suits a lot of my customers because a lot of my customers don't want brilliant chrome because they're restoring vintage bikes, and then if it's too shiny, they show up too much because the rest of the bike's dulled down a bit. Well, if I get that now, that's ceramic chrome, and put that next to the casing, you see, like it's not standing out, is it? It's more like aluminium than it is. It's similar colour to that. It's milky, which is closer to that than chrome was. If I put chrome on the top of that, it'd stand out like a sofa because it'd be really, really shiny compared to that. That's been in my drawer there for about 5 years. I've not wrapped them in paper out like that, not wrapped them in bubble wrap. I've just been letting them bang around against each other, just get them out, throw them back in, just to see how hard wearing it is. So I said, we could possibly do that. That's one option. It's put on a bit like powder coat. They spray it on and then bake it, I think. So yeah, whiz them back in there. That's one option. The other option is to try and get them dipped, but with the collars left outside of the tank. So just chrome that bit up to there, but these will be welded on the end. So these, that much sticking out, I'm going to have to TIG weld. Let's flip him, I don't know what that... It's still not, there we go. Ish. It's on automatic, it should just flip and zoom itself, or focus itself. Yeah, that there, I'm going to TIG weld round that onto the end of these pipes. So what I've done is, I've done this in stainless, this bit, because that's never ever going to get chromed, is this section, that section. so it'd start rusting, wouldn't it, if I left it in mild steel. So the idea is like he can probably mask all that top end off if he gets them sprayed, or he can leave that bit hanging outside of the chroming tank, just dip the rest of the pipe in and just leave that sat on the top. That's the only two solution we've got. Apart from bent, we could have possibly bent them in stainless, but stainless is a bit harder to bend. I've just had a go at bending some stainless for another job. It's for a customer building a custom Royal Enfield. That's the Royal Enfield part behind it in chrome, and he asked me if I could do like a race pipe, so just one big sweep, make it look a bit more like a vintage racer. And he wanted them in stainless because he's got a supplier that's going to supply him with a stainless can, like a megaphone to put on back of it. So I said I could do it, but I don't know how tight I can get it. So them stainless collars, I've just chopped them off back end of here. But yeah, it come out alright. What I've done is I've made an error. This is 1.2mm, and then when I've bent it, it's rippled up all the way around there, but only ever so slightly. So when I get the job, I'm going to make it in 1.5mm. And I'll be able to bend that then without it rippling, hopefully, fingers crossed. So, right, yeah, I could have bent that. If you look, that's not much of a different radius than what these are. So maybe in the future I might do them in stainless, but I still don't like stainless because stainless cracks, it work hardens. So there's a possibility that between where that joins on and that joins on, that's going to be soft. That's fair hard. It's likely that the weld might crack on them. So I'm going to have to make sure I've got plenty of brackets on, I reckon. But yeah, we're at that stage. Let's flip camera around. Oh yeah, I don't even know what I'm doing. Got that on my neck. Camera around. Right, so plan is, we're going to go for it. He wants to pick it Friday now, and he wants to pick this up either Monday or Tuesday. Tuesday's reserve day. He'd rather pick it up on Monday, but Tuesday's a reserve. So I've got to do it today. There's only a few hours left of today, and basically I've been messing about. I've been making them collars. I've had them on once to check that they fit. I look well weird without a beard, don't I? Like a different person. Yeah, if you watch my other videos, you're going to be like, who's this new guy? So yeah, my plan is now to put it together. I've checked it once. I'm going to check it again. I'll set camera up. We'll start building it up, start getting them on. I've tweaked that other pipe as well across the gearbox, and I was like, that's flipping mint that. So the only tricky bit is going to be trying to TIG weld them collars on, I think, because I'm going to have like that much room to flip and mess about with to TIG welding, like TIG welding in a little window. So that's going to be the trickiest bit, I think. Also tacking them on when they're on the bike, when there's not much room to play with, that might be a bit flipping techie. What other issues? Then put dints in it. I'm going to have to put the dints in it before I tack it on. So it's going to be a case now of put the collars in. They'll look dead nice. Get the pipes roughly fitting. Then put the dints in it so then I can get it into its final position. So trim the pipes up as well, so because the pipes might rotate round as I'm trim them up. They'll probably twist up round. Make sure that they all sit nicely with bottom rail. Put some dints in so that they're sat in the final position. Then weld round it, or tack it on. Then take it all off, weld round it. Then put it back on, suss out brackets. So it's only a day of a job now, day of a job gone. So the one last video, and we're on 10 minutes now, so I'll try and keep it like 30, 40, less than an hour probably. Right, got to crack on for a bit. I might set camera, but if I'm doing anything interesting, I'll set camera up on tripod and we'll go through it. Right gang, let's get serious. Need this, let's put this underneath here. I have that on there and I have a plank across the bottom. Right. Then I went like that. That nut could do with a little bit more tightening up, to be honest. And that slipped underneath that. It's all a little bit tighter than it were before. Spanner. Let's get that in the right place. One more turn. Right, yeah, them Instagrammers can do one. That reel was shy. I suppose I could just finish it off, cheat it. Nah, it's still not going to work, that. Do a bit of crafty editing afterwards. Right, you want to all have a look, don't you? Probably might speed that section up, you never know. It looks well, still scared, I'm always scared. But yeah, that bit that comes out of there nice. Hook train there nice. They're nicely in level there. So they come out the same amount, you see. Like they're not coming, that one's a little bit further in, but it should be because it's a bottom pipe. So you're just getting that nice. You see that curve that comes on over the top? It joins into the bottom pipe, if you get me. So that's just tucked under. If it were down here, it'd look odd because it'd be too far in. So you're just getting, if I come here, be able to show you, is I need to drink a bit more on my brew. But yeah, if you go off the bottom at frame, say, and then swung an arc right round, you get that kind of shape, don't you? So that pipe wants to be there, it don't want to be down here, it'd be too far away. But yeah, they look nice, because they're both coming out at the same ish angle as well, if you get me. That there. From the top, that's done really well to get in there as that one. Because it's tight. See how much daylight's coming through there? Not much at all. So yeah, that fits nice. The other good thing about them is look how much he's machined them. He's machined them absolutely perfect. I said to the customer, I said, you've got like half a turn left or something. So when that crush ring just squashes up a little bit more, customer said if it squashes it up too much, then he'll just drop a washer in behind back of it just to sort it out. And then that's what it looks like from side on. So now it's a case of marking that pipe up there, marking it up with paint pen, so I know where to put a dint, know where it's touching. I need to dint them both there for frame rail. See that where red bit is? I want to go put a dint in. I think the front of this pipe's alright. That's skims past that engine casing. So there's a gap there. It's got no problems with that one. That one doesn't need dinting. But yeah, this one wants dinting. I'll show you where I want to put a dint. First of all, I want to put a dint in it there. Just a fair big whack with hammer, that one. Because it's touching over a wide area like that much. And then I'm hoping that it'll close that gap up there. Close a bit of this daylight gap here. But that's fractional as well. It's tiny. See my fingers behind the back of that. Tiny gap all the way around. So I just want to make a gap here, and then alteration before I've got that dead tight into that gearbox there. That's nice now. Or did I just warmed it up a bit here and just tweaked it a little tiny bit. Then like I say, I want to make sure that them two pipes run the same. Just that bottom pipe there is kicking out a little tiny bit, so what I need to do is just push on it there at the front, and then that'll just pull it out a bit at the back. Put two dints in it, and then put it all back on again. Check the gaps. I want to put some 3 milli packers between these two pipes so they don't touch. Take my blocks out completely so that I can get the level of it sat just right, because where the blocks are now I can't see it frame. So I just want to make sure that that's sat just up off the frame, so it's not below the rails, just up a little tiny bit. Which, yeah, if they're not, then I need to trim a bit off that, but they're looking good. Right. So you should be able to see everything up there, shouldn't you? Just have to talk a bit louder. Plan is now to whip the pipes up, bring them over here, drag my gas bottles over. That bar there will fit 1 3/4 inch pipe on, so pipe straight over there, tap some dints in, yeah, get a bit of oxyacetylene out, and then take the pipes off. So let's get the bottles. Bottles out, but you can't sit by it, can you? Let's get them over there. I'll spin them right round. Let's get them right over there. Wow. Right, that's on. Switch that off, that on, that on. Let's get that out. I've marked them all, I've been round them with chalk, just mark the places where I want the dints to be. And then it's a case of dinting them. Dinting them, keep trying them back on to make sure the dints are in the right place. So I'll take this top pipe off to do with something on the front of that, make sure it don't fall off. It's your worst nightmare that if you, like I've just been outside for a week, sometimes you come back in and flipping pipes falling off. So I need 2 dints, I need one there, roughly marked a line there, marked a line there, I need a dint between that, so between them 2 lines I need to just put a dint in there, probably with my wooden hammer because it needs to be a fair big dint, a fair wide dint. And then this one is there roughly, that's where the rail comes down on the back of the frame, so it just wants a bit of a curved dint, put like a bit of an angle really, just a dint putting across there, and then it will just sit a little tiny bit into the frame. It's even like, it's not, I don't want it to sit a bit further in, I want it to be where it is now but with a gap behind it, so it's resting on the frame, it's resting on the casings. I don't want it to be resting on it when it's running, I want there to be a gap there, so yeah, get it in as tight as possible and then dint it out so that there is a gap behind it. So if I just warm, make sure that's down, yeah, make sure that's on. Get some different hammers out now. So what we're going to need, we need this one, this is a good hammer. Just keep looking for them on eBay for different shapes, so just like, oh that's got a nice curve on that end, nice curve on that end, perfect for knocking a line in there. I think that'll be the only hammer I need. I've got quite a few like that. They're all different, like so. This is another decent hammer. It's the same as the other ones, but it's square on either end. That one's got a curve on it because I've ground that one into a curve, and then that one's perfectly flat, but the rectangular on the ends, so just makes a nice. If I want to put a big flat section in there, I can almost work my way down it, and then I have this hammer over here. It's got a big square on the end of it, so I use that for the same. That one there for putting a big flat in something. With that'll create a nice square edge. That there will put. I could use that for this. You'll just put a diagonal line in. Other options are when you're putting dints in, just in case you ever want to do it, is just to grab a metal bar. So this is Grandad's way of doing it. Is you warm up the area you want, put that on it, that's the frame rail, and then just whack that with any hammer, and it'll put a dint in it that shape. So I sometimes use them. And for the big round dint, we'll just use this little wooden hammer, which is all burnt on end. It's the same thing, just get a collection of them off eBay. And they're cheap also. I got 5 of them for like a tenner or something. You know, someone just throwing them away. So yeah, let's get that on it. The bit that needs dinting is obviously the highest point of this. So I've marked that on as well. I put a straight line on there. I just need to hit it there somewhere. Let's mark that out a bit more. So it'd be there. Need to put a bit of a belt in it there with an hammer, and it'll be done. that one done. Trick now is to check that, but to check it I'm going to put that dint in there, which is a bit far away and it's trying to tip itself round. So what I'll do is I'll probably grab it on the pipe on the bar, just move it along a bit. Now I don't know if you can see that, so I'll probably spin you around. Let's have a look at you. You can't see that, can you? Let's get that on there. And I'm going to put a whack in it there. So let's zoom me in. Right, that'll give you a better idea of what I'm doing. Do a bit more heat. Oh yeah, bastardo. I think that worked out perfectly. Just how I want it. Now, like I say, try to go and check that on the bike, because then I can work out whether it's a bit high or a bit low, or it wants a bit more in the middle. You know, just dinting down. So it follows casings nicely. So instead, I don't like to do that now. I'll probably unhook it. Should we go and unhook it and let's go down there and have a look? So if I just leave you down here staring at that, because it's not bad to stare at, is it? I'll zoom us out a bit and I'll pull this out of the vise. Don't burn the fingers. Right, we're on. I'll get this on here now and then have a look at the gaps. It is a bit warm there. I've got a 3mm packer underneath that. Yeah. It were a bit. Oof, oof, oof. Like I say, it's a good job I put that brick there. That brick there, because that just saved that pipe from falling off. It's not that it's a bit high. It's just that because it's moved in, it's created a different kind of gap now. Which means I can knock a bit more off the bottom of it, and that one down there wants a bit more at the back of it, I think. So let's have a look. Let's get you on. Let's get you on shaky cam. Right. So this is what it looks like. Might be near impossible to see. If you look there, yeah, that's where I put the dint in it. So it's just touching at the top, but there's a little bit of light coming through. It's touching at the bottom, there's a little bit of light at the top. So what I actually need to do now is extend that top and bottom, just smooth it in a bit. The depth's probably okay. What it is, it's just, yeah, it's dipping in, dipping out. So I just need to smooth it. So just hammer that ridge there, hammer that ridge, and just get rid of get rid of the step in it in a way. And then same with this gap down the back there, you won't be able to see this one. This one is really hard to see. It's hard to see the light coming through there. Can't get the camera close enough. But yeah, basically there's a dint there and it's just a little bit too far forward. Needs to bring it back again. I'll just smooth out the lip there in it. But yeah, it's still fitting. Still fitting absolutely perfectly, so just keep going away at them dints. That's what it looks like down at eye level. Yeah, just keep going at the dints, and the one little tiny issue I've got at the moment is I need to trim a little bit off the top of that pipe. If you look, that gap gets bigger as it gets to the back. So I just want to drop that back end down a little tiny bit, which you can do that by rotating that one up. Or I pull that one down a little bit and then that'll get that to tip up a little tiny bit at the back, one or the other. But yeah, I'll have another go at dinting it. I've shown you what to do there dint wise, and so it's just a case of just keep going at them now, like that. And then I'll do the same on back one. That one, the back one just wants another dint in it there. That's all, the only place it needs a dint is just one at the back. And then we'll crack on again. Right guys, back in. I should have recorded that. I should have recorded it a lot. It was bad, weren't it? Should have recorded it. Don't know if that's any better. Should have recorded it and speeded it up for you. But it were a case of it's too much back and forth. Basically, put a dint in, go down there, check the bike, come back over here, put a dint in, go back down there, check the bike. I've put a number of dints in now. It's looking good. My God, it's looking good. I were about to say, because I was thinking about it while I were doing it, nothing more scarier than this part. I don't flipping. There's some scary parts in tube bending. First one is bending it. Spend all that time making them patterns out of wire and all that stuff, and you think, oh my God, I hope that this comes out all right. Then it comes out all right. You're thinking, is it all right? Is it all right? Please be all right. Please be all right. Please be all right. And then you don't know. You got to empty sand out of it, and then that's another scary part, because as soon as you empty sand out of it, you pretty much, there's no point in going back. You can't repack a bent pipe with sand, or you can, but it'll take you days. Trying to get the sand to pack round all bends, so that's another scary part. So then you've got that far, you've emptied all sand out of it, and you're thinking, my God, please, please, please. Then you've got to chop the ends off it, and you're like, oh my God, like literally. Then there is no going back. Then you're gluing bits onto end, aren't you? If you chop it back too much, not much going back. Well, there is going back. You can weld it all up, but it's just taking too much time out. Then you've got a nice set of pipes, and you're thinking they'll probably go with some dints in them. That'll probably fit. And then you've got a perfectly good set of pipes. I could have sold these last week. I could have just gone, there you go, pipes. But to take them that extra mile, it's like I say, it's 10% of, I don't know, is it 10%? It's not even that. It's like it's an extra 1%. I've got to do like, and it makes them a million times better. But it's also, it's fair long-winded putting out dints in, and then it's also really, really high risk. So yeah, have a look at this. This perfect set of pipes, and then you just go and blast loads of dints into it. So I don't know if that's not right showing up, is it? That's one dent. That's for back at frame. This dint here has appeared as it's moved in. So that one there's over at timing case. That one there's over at frame. That one there is where I was struggling to get the pipe to go when out 4 days ago or something. I thought, I don't even know if that'll touch the gearbox. My wire pattern touched the gearbox, but that were preventing it, and that were preventing it. And I did say in an earlier video, if I put a 3mm dint in it, which that probably is, then I'd get that to touch, and now it is touching. Now it don't touch there, and it don't touch there. It just rocks in the middle ever so slightly. So that's just a tiny little bit of relief at gearbox now. I've shaved a little tiny bit off the top to try and get it to pull in a little bit better for them to level up at the back. The other pipe's done. This one were a nice stylish dint that I've put it back of there, so you can see. It's really, that's probably the hardest bit to find daylight through, isn't it? I can see daylight, but yeah, can you see daylight there? That runs from there all the way up to that white line, but I can't get camera. You can just see it there again, can't you? Daylight coming through. That's, if I pull it off at front, it's a work of art, is that dint. Look, it's that shaped. It's like a knife shaped. So what it's doing there, the curve section's following. It'd be easier to show you without the pipe on, wouldn't it? Curve section's following that there, but then this from the top down, it's sticking out past the rail. So then I've just carried that curve on to there. So that's that big flat section. Big flat section, because that sticks out, and it sticks out up to there. So I've got that much, and then it just curves off into a teardrop shape or an eye point. And you can imagine that when I get that and flick it up onto there, flat, and then a curve at the end. So yeah, that one's lovely. And then my next thing to do now again is to put them both back on. Put them both back on and waggle them about. The actual fitting point now, I'm back at fitting again for the 6th time, like I was saying. That's why it gets scary, because the further I get along, the more high risk it gets, because so you waste so much. If it goes wrong now, I've wasted days and days and days, which is the same with any craft, I think. The further you get on, the more scary it gets, the more skilled you have to be to try and prevent it from going bad. It could go bad at any minute now. Fingers crossed. As well as being a load of wood in here, metal in here, there's a load of wood, so just keep touching the wood. Just touch the wood, touch the wood, touch wood. So yeah, like I say, I'll get me facing. I'll probably crack on again. Like I say, I should have filmed them dints, but it were a case of going from there to there to there to there. That's what I've literally just done for the past half an hour to an hour. It's just backwards, forwards, backwards, forwards. So it wouldn't have made a good video. Probably should have dragged the bike further over there, which I'm going to have to do soon, because I need to TIG weld these onto the top. So best bet, instead of dragging that big gas ball over to the bike with my little inverter, I'll just drag the bike over to welder, I think, and we'll get it there, and I'll TIG weld it in. But yeah, I'm just going to do a load more checks. Might just make sure that these dints clear now, because that one's going to let it go in a little bit further than it were before. These might need more dints now, and I might even need to put a dint in the top. That's cleared every time as that one, but now that's in. That might touch at the top now, so go try them both on, try and get them levelled up, try and get them fitted properly, and yeah, I'll see you soon.